The knock came just after sunset, sharp enough to slice through the hum of the apartment. When Maya opened the door, she froze. Her mother, who had disappeared when Maya was 9, stood smiling like no time had passed. Beside her slouched a young man with lazy eyes, Trey, Maya's half-brother, tapping on his phone. "Heard how well you're doing," her mother said, eyes sweeping the room. "Family helps family." Trey smirked. 60 grand for tuition, 3,000 a month. You can handle that, right? Maya felt her pulse throb. She didn't argue. She just knew this wasn't a visit. It was an invasion. Maya had grown up in a small Ohio town where the winters bit deep and fryer oil clung to her father's jacket. Her dad, James Porter, ran a tiny diner at the end of Main Street. 3 red booths, a flickering neon sign, and a coffee pot that never slept. After her mother left, the diner became their survival. She remembered the slam of the car door that morning, her mother's suitcase wobbling down the steps. James said later she'd met someone new, a man who promised her a better life. Maya wondered if better meant a life without her. James tried to fill both roles, but the weight was heavy. Every morning at 5, he'd unlock the diner and start the grill. By afternoon, he'd be serving regulars with a tired grin. The smell of bacon grease and black coffee soaked into his clothes. Still, he always found time to ask, "How was school today, kiddo?" Sometimes mid-sentence, he'd drift asleep at the kitchen table, and Maya would whisper, "It was good, Dad." The lights flickered when the heater ran. Groceries were few. She started babysitting at 12, stacking shelves at 14, cleaning houses by 15, every dollar for rent or gas. James would scold gently, "You shouldn't worry about bills, Maya." But she only smiled. "I just want to help." School was her escape hatch. Numbers made sense when life didn't. She joined math club, entered competitions, stayed late tutoring others. Teachers spoke of college like a secret world. She listened hard. At 17, she earned a full scholarship to study data analytics. The night her acceptance letter came, James stood behind the diner counter, wiping tears with a dish towel. "You're getting out," he said, voice cracking. "You're going to make something bigger than this, sweetheart." College wasn't easy, but it was hers. Tuition was covered, but food and rent weren't. She waited tables mornings, filed papers afternoons, and cleaned offices at night. Sleep was rare, but freedom made it worth it. By graduation, Maya had a degree, a job offer, and a quiet fire inside. She moved to Orlando for a data analyst role at a tech company. The first paycheck felt unreal, more than her dad earned in a month. She sent him money, though he resisted. "You work for this," he'd say. But she wanted him to rest. Just once. Years passed. Promotions came. Maya's apartment now overlooked Orlando's skyline. Glass windows, warm lights, soft music. Her co-workers became her second family. Tara from accounting, who always brought muffins, Malik, who joked about deadlines, and Leo, her friendly neighbor who brought her coffee on Sundays. Yet, on quiet nights, she opened a drawer filled with birthday cards from her mother. Each one said, "Happy birthday. Hope you're doing okay." No love, no warmth, just proof of existence. She'd stare at them, wondering why she wasn't enough for her mother to stay. Those cards were tiny ghosts she never invited. So when her mother reappeared that autumn evening, smiling like nothing had happened, Maya's world tilted. She had built her life from scratch, career, peace, purpose, and now the ghost had found her address. That night, she barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, her mother's smile bled into the dark. Maybe she'd changed. Maybe she wanted forgiveness. But the words, "family helps family," echoed like a threat. The next morning, a text arrived. "Lunch, my treat. So much to catch up on." Against her better judgment, Maya went. Closure, she told herself. Just once. The cafe was crowded, the air thick with espresso and chatter. Her mother, dressed too finely for someone struggling, waved her over. "Maya, you look beautiful," she said, hugging stiffly. Trey barely looked up from his phone. Maya sat. The conversation started with weather, traffic, then drifted to guilt. "You know your father made it impossible for me to stay in touch." Her mother sighed. Maya's voice tightened. He begged you to call. I was struggling too, her mother insisted. Trey finally spoke. Dorms and cheap cars, rough life. He laughed. Maya's patience began to crumble. Her mother smiled sweetly. Trey's tuition is $60,000. We just need a little help. Maybe $3,000 a month until he's settled. Maya blinked. $3,000 a month? You're doing so well, her mother said. You make more than you need. Maya's chest tightened. How do you even know what I make? Her mother froze, then brushed it off. People talk. Maya remembered her dad warning. Keep your accounts private. Some people only see what they can take. Trey leaned forward. Your family, he said. You should want to help. Maya's hands trembled. Family doesn't mean bank. Her mother frowned. Don't be cold, Maya. We came because we trust you. Maya stood. I'll think about it. Trey rolled his eyes. Yeah, sure. Her mother's tone sharpened. Don't forget who raised you. The words burned. Dad raised me, Maya said, voice breaking as she left. Outside, sunlight felt too bright. Lunch wasn't about reconnection. It was reconnaissance. She knew they'd return. And 2 nights later, they did. Another knock. Another invasion. We were in the neighborhood. Her mother chirped, pushing inside before Maya could protest. The scent of perfume and entitlement filled the air. Nice place, he muttered. Could use a bigger TV. Maya folded her arms. Why are you here? Her mother's eyes roamed the apartment, landing on framed degrees. We just want peace, she said softly. Then stop asking for money. Please, Maya. Her mother pressed. You have so much, and Trey's trying to start his life. I live that struggle too, Maya said. Trey smirked. Yeah, but you're fine now. Her mother sighed. 3,000 isn't much to you. Maya's voice cracked. How would you know what's much to me? Her mother glanced at Maya's desk. Trey followed her gaze and moved before she could stop him. Don't touch that. Maya shouted. Too late. Her laptop screen glowed with her bank dashboard. Just checking how rich you are, Trey teased. Her mother's voice oozed false sweetness. We're family, Maya. Why hide anything? Maya slammed the laptop shut. You broke into my life again. Don't be dramatic, her mother said coldly. We only want to see how you're doing. You hacked Dad's email to find where I work, Maya whispered. You never stop crossing lines. Her mother's face hardened. Don't blame me for your father's failures. Trey sneered. He's a loser anyway. Something in Maya snapped. Get out, she said quietly. Her mother blinked. Excuse me. Get out before I call the police. Trey scoffed. You're insane. Maybe, Maya said, but I'm done. Her mother's eyes flashed. You'll regret this. One day you'll need us. Maya opened the door, voice calm. I've needed you for 20 years. You weren't there. They hesitated, then left. The silence afterward wasn't loneliness. It was freedom. For the first time, Maya felt her own strength. That night, she sat on her bed, the laptop still warm from their touch. Anger didn't roar anymore. It chilled. Silence, she realized, could be protection. She reopened the device, tracing their digital footprints like a detective. Her analyst mind caught every clue. Forwarded emails, IP traces, strange logins. One file stood out. A message her father had once received, now forwarded to her mother 2 weeks ago. Attached, Maya's payroll document. Her stomach dropped. She printed everything, labeling it evidence. Then she called her father. Dad, she said softly, did you send Mom my salary info? James hesitated. No, never. She's been in my email, hasn't she? His voice was tired but kind. That woman never learned boundaries. I'm handling it, Maya said, exhaling. I just needed you to know. The next morning, she called a lawyer, Mark Sullivan. She told him everything, from the hacked emails to the apartment intrusion. He listened calmly. You have proof? Yes. She handed him the folder. He nodded. Then we'll file a restraining order and contact your bank's fraud department. The words felt like oxygen. For the first time, someone truly understood. By afternoon, Maya had changed every password, added two-factor authentication, and ordered new locks. The next day, she stood in a quiet courtroom. Papers stamped, signatures sealed, gavel echoing. It was done. The line was drawn. A week later, an alert pinged on her phone. Attempted transfer. $10,000. Declined. She stared at the screen, then smiled faintly. Her lawyer's reply came quickly. Already covered. They'll face consequences. Maya felt no rage, just relief. The storm had passed. Peace, for once, wasn't temporary. It was real. A month later, she visited her father's diner, now bright and renovated thanks to her help. The smell of coffee and grilled onions greeted her. James looked up from the counter and smiled. "You look lighter," he said. Maya laughed. "I am." That night, back in her Orlando apartment, she watched the city lights shimmer. Her mother had taken enough. Her childhood, her trust, her calm, but not her future. She poured a glass of water, opened her laptop, and started designing something new, a charity fund for single-parent kids like her. She named it the Porter Fund. Not revenge, but reclamation. Her way of saying, "You can't take from me anymore." Months passed in peace. The fund grew. Then one evening, her father called. You'll never guess who reached out. Your Aunt Ruth. Maya smiled faintly. "What about her?" "She wanted to talk about your mom," he said gently. Ruth later told Maya that her mother had burned every bridge, borrowed money, lied about her, spread stories. Now, no one knew where she'd gone. Maya didn't feel triumph, just calm. "I hope she finds what she's looking for," she said softly. Therapy helped Maya understand her guilt for surviving was heavier than her mother's betrayal. Dr. Brooks once said, "You can't heal in the same story that broke you." Maya carried that sentence like a shield. The Porter Fund flourished. Small scholarships, mentorships, tutoring nights. Her friends Tara and Leo helped organize sponsors. The first time Maya signed a grant check, she thought her father flipping pancakes, keeping the dynamites on. The cycle ended with her signature. Sometimes, she still caught herself listening for a knock, but it never came. Silence now meant safety. Last Thanksgiving, James visited Orlando. They cooked together, turkey, mashed potatoes, laughter echoing through the apartment. He raised his glass. "You did good, kiddo." Maya smiled. "We did." Later, on the rooftop of her building during the fund's first anniversary, she looked at the glowing sign, the Porter Fund for Kids Who Fight Alone. It shimmered like closure. She thought of the little girl at the diner window, waiting for a mother who never came. Maybe that was the point, losing her maid room to find herself. Maya raised her glass to the skyline and whispered, "This is family.